Today we're diving into some fan art of my custom character from Baldur's Gate 3. For those of you who don't know, Baldur's Gate 3 is a game that lets you do all the things you've always wanted to do in Dungeons & Dragons, but in a video game. It also lets you spend hours in the character creator crafting the perfect character, or TAV, for your adventure. Now I know some of you are wondering, why is your character called TAV? Well, according to my research, back during the development days of BG3, the project was codenamed Gustav after the CEO's dog. Huh. So 94% of us are named after a dog. Alright, let's get to it. We're going to open up my last save of BG3 and take some reference photos of my custom character. So this is Efeldrin. She's basically a chaos-filled, spell-slinging, goblin-crushing machine driven by my greed and curiosity. Let's take her back to camp and grab some photos. At the magic mirror, I focused mostly on capturing as many angles of her head and general proportions as possible. I want to make sure that I have a solid idea of what she looks like before I start drawing. And of course I pet the owlbear cub because that's important. I quickly browsed through my organized trove of loot to find armor, robes, or clothes that would look good on Efeldrin. I considered using the armor that carried me through most of Act 2, but I didn't like how bulky it made her look compared to the vision that I had for the drawing. I finally settled on these fancy robes from a Shar High Priestess that totally lent them to me. I like how the fabric flows and adds a layer of motion to the character, but the color was all wrong, so it's back to the heap where I locate my favorite dye and make the outfit perfect. There we go. Alright, back to the mirror for more pictures. Once that's complete, all that's left is to show off how hot Efeldrin is to the rest of the party. Now that my pyromania has been satisfied, we can finally get to sketching. I start with a non-photo blue pencil, which allows me to get the rough pose that I'm going for without worrying that it'll show up in the scan later. At this point, I'm trying to make sure that the silhouette of the character is easily readable by viewers like you. Thank you. Patreon, support me. Okay, I've got a pretty good sketch, so it's time to digitize it into the Matrix.
We're in.
Working in Clip Studio Paint, I start off by double checking my proportions and generally cleaning up the sketch so I can create nice line work. You'll notice that I'm not including every single detail from the original reference in the piece, but I am using the reference more as a guide to influence my style. While working on the line work, I'll tell you a little bit more about Efeldrin. Originally, she was a character that I made on paper in D&D Beyond, but she soon became a character that I really wanted to design visually. I like the idea of a sorceress tiefling from the Shadowfell whose father was her warlock patron, protecting her as she wreaked havoc on the overworld. Efeldrin is one of those girls who looks scary but isn't very bright, so she kind of treats the Forgotten Realms as her playground, trying out new spells, summoning dark lords, and generally just having a good time. Alright, let's lay down the flat colors. I want the highlights and the shadows to be consistent across all the different parts of the piece, while keeping in mind that they are all made of different materials. Leather pants reflect light differently than hair or skin, and so on. I'm going to render out all the flat colors now so that they look smooth and more realistic. I kind of like how the flat colors look though. I may start making more flat colored illustrations in the future. And we jump over to Photoshop for the final background elements and adjustments. I do like Clip Studio Paint for most of my process, but I think Photoshop is still better at certain tasks, like adjustments and hue saturations and so on and so forth. So I still use it almost every day. And that's all folks, here's Felden, my custom character from Baldurs Gate 3. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it inspires you to go out and make your own TAV fan art. Thanks for watching. Now go make something awesome.